But let me see if I can find this clip because this was really, really interesting about it. What he was basically talking about was all the reserves that was in the area, the fact that a lot of the mining that they were trying to do, they were trying to open it up more, and they were kind of being reluctant. Let me see, where is this at?
I mean, if they're trying to mine more, then would a hurricane and like sediment settling and stuff different places, would that not make it more difficult?
Not necessarily, because in regards to what they were doing, they were trying to bring out get the people were resisting. They didn't want the mining to expand. So here we go. I got it right here.
Does not sit well with me. I think something's going on. So I decided to do some digging. So the first thing I find out is North Carolina has the richest deposits of lithium in the entire world. Yeah, lithium for like cars, batteries, all that. Then I find out they have the world's highest purity quartz deposits. And that quartz just so happens to be the world's supply for AI chips, microchips, and all kinds of stuff. We're talking a $530 billion industry. So this is where it gets interesting. So a company by the name of Piedmont Lithium is awaiting a state mining permit for a site in northern Gaston County. And Gaston County is completely flooded right now. The project was awaiting zoning approval because they were getting backlash from the residents and also city officials. And this lithium mine they want would be the third largest producer of lithium in the world. And they made a deal with Tesla already. Now remember the quartz? So in Spruce Pine, North Carolina, right next to Ashland, they are wanting to expand their mines even larger. And the residents aren't having it either. Enter the floods. People, these are mountain towns. It rarely, if not ever, floods in the mountains. I would know, I grew up in the mountains in Colorado, which means none of these people have flood insurance. I mean, the media is saying biblical devastation in North Carolina, AKA like the worst thing that could happen, and you're not coming back from it. Read between the lines, people. Everything happens for a reason.
This feels like white Katrina.
This is only interesting if you think that like they have weather machines.
No, it's the thing is like this. It's not about weather machines. You know that storms and stuff are going to come around. What you do is you poorly plant the infrastructure. You make it so that when something does happen, this bad result is the cause.
How long would that take?
Not long. Is all you gotta do is disregard regulations or change regulations.
For how long? For this to happen?
It just depends on what's going on. What's the conflict in the area? Just like what they do overseas. You assess the conflict in the area. What's going on? What's the best way to eliminate it? And then you create that problem. And it doesn't necessarily, like I said, these are essentially probably levees being broken, not necessarily water flooding like normal route, because like I said, it's a mountain town. So you could easily weaken infrastructure, don't have certain things regulated the right way, and just set it up so that when a problem does arise and we get our hurricanes that happen, tropical storms, that these things happen. They could have set this, this could have happened based off of a thunderstorm. All they need to do is the water to come out of that area. And now you flooded out the whole area, and now these people got to move, and you're doing the same thing that they tried to do in Hawaii. It's to me, it's not a weather controlling thing more so than it is taking advantage of areas that are prone to disaster. You know what I'm saying? You can track these kind of things that hey, this area has been hit this multiple times. Okay, what's going on? Boop, boop, boop. Now we just got a plan. So it's not necessarily like they got the weather machines. Like I think that's what people love to do and say, because that just sounds like, oh, the craziest conspiracy. Yeah. But it's not. It's just doing poor infrastructure, not investing in certain things. So then when a disaster does happen, it is so rich to be able to be to be taken advantage of. Because a lot of these times, if you think about just how things are set up, like oil and all that kind of things, like how it takes something to die, decay, millions and millions of years and all that other stuff. Like you have to think, okay, it has to be in an area that's going to be active in regards to thunderstorms, things dying, decaying, all that kind of stuff. So like our resources are largely in places that have disasters like this.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Have to be.
Yeah, just for them to, that's what kind of creates it over time if you kind of think about it. But no, I just think this is really crazy. I'm so glad we weren't affected in a real way, because we could have easily been. We got trees around us.
Yeah,
like
a lot of trees.
Just so many stories of people's houses just being decimated just because a tree just went through it.
And we got really lucky because the tree that fell only fell on our lawn, and my mom was like pissed off about.
Yeah, It did mess up the lawn though. We just put down new grass. So
yeah,
I can understand.
But like that's the luckiest problem to have.
Oh, for sure.
To a lot of people.
Yeah. So I'm definitely empathize with anybody who is in kind of struggle. They had to put FEMA out there. Mm-hmm. It's nasty, and I just hope that people are able to get back to normal and they're not being taken advantage of by these companies and these corporations that are just trying to mine the world for nothing.
And then imagine if you're in an emergency that's more dire than ours, because like we live at a dead end and there was a tree at the end of our block. So like there was only one day where I was like inconvenienced and I couldn't go anywhere. But they like my husband and a couple of the neighbors were the ones that like cleaned up the tree enough for people to drive past. They didn't get that bitch till like a smooth week later.
Yeah, today.
Like, that's crazy. Imagine, like, if you have no power, if there's, like...
Or if there's a bunch of elderly people on the street.
Yeah.
Like, no, it could have been really nasty. That's what I was worried about. Because, like, I had started... When I first seen the tree go down, I started trying to break it up to make an opening because I'm just thinking about anybody else in the neighborhood that can need to go through there. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, I would hate for, like, somebody to need to go get their medicine or they ran out or they in a medical emergency. And now... those precious seconds are being lost because this tree is right here.
Yeah, you got to order an Uber to the end of the block and walk down there to go get your life-saving
No, somebody did do
medicine.
That. Somebody did order Uber. The Uber tried to drive through our grass. We was like, nah, you ain't doing that.
Get the fuck out of here.
You're not doing that, big dog. But no, the storm just turns you into just, like, I'm just thinking about, like, how events like this kind of can turn we would think particularly sane individuals or folks who maybe would be more rational, and then they'll just turn you to like the darkest individual because of what's going on, like the lack of power, lack of resources, being scared of what's going to be next. Like I can just imagine the families that are just like tearing each other apart right now because of that.
Yeah,
like, that's wild, man.
That's probably a little dramatic, but yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, I could tell you some stories, but no. Anything else we need to wrap up? Was there anything that you heard about this that was kind of in this vein or with the conspiracies? Because I've been seeing a lot with just...
No, I didn't see any conspiracies about the hurricane. I saw that there are 2 more on the way.
It just feels like we're never prepared. Every time these happen, and we feel like we know the whole, trajectory of these, where they're going to come at, and then every year we just get
everybody is warned. People are told to evacuate. And then I can literally pull up like at least 7 people on TikTok who were like, oh, this isn't going to be as serious as they say it's going to be. And then we're like, holy shit, we're in actual danger. We should have evacuated.
But some people don't know because...
There are so many people who, like, if they are telling you in your area that it is dangerous, you need to evacuate immediately, then you need to fucking do so.
Well, if you have the means to be able to do so, I completely understand that. But we know that there's tons of people who can't just evacuate.
Yeah. If that's the case, then okay. But like everyone that I saw documents like, oh, it's not going to be that bad. They're lying to us.
I mean, I think that there is some people who do kind of like underestimate weather and like the impacts that it can really have.
Mother Nature is not the bitch that you need to underestimate.
But a lot of those people go through so many storms, especially when you live that close to the water. You go through those storms all the time. Like when I was down by Savannah going to school, we used to have storms all the time because that was just kind of part of the environment because we were like minutes away from a beach.
Yeah.
So you just kind of expect that kind of weather. You don't ever realize it's going to get that bad.
I went to school and my dorm was like beachfront. Mm-hmm. And every time they told us to evacuate, the whole school shut down. They was like, go home. Leave your dorm.
But see, that's crazy too, because some people that dorm is their home. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, there were situations where like that was.
It just feels like these process that for like evacuating and just even the response to the disaster just seems so underfunded, so undermanned. Because I remember I used to work with this girl who used to work for FEMA, and she used to tell me like, oh, you should get into it. It's like, it's really interesting. You travel a lot. You're around everywhere. Like you pretty much drop off a hat and then you gone here. But I don't know. She said the money was okay.
Situations though.
Yeah, but I mean it's heavily protected and you got folks that's trained and stuff like that. It's very rarely you're in a hostile situation. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it's just like, I mean,
Yeah, it's just more
flooding and stuff like that. Not hostile in like
there's like
other humans.
people attacking you.
Yeah.
But no, I just think it's just so undermanned and underfunded. And I think it's just sad because it's like it's always the bottom of the people, and they don't understand that. Like these some rednecks, like these some mountain men rednecks up there that then got affected.
FEMA's budget gets cut like every year.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
it keeps getting cut.
they always take away from it, and they feel like we just supposed to just accept it. Like that's supposed to be for us. For when we in natural disasters, we've seen
Things
the
that
impact.
are inevitable.
And then what it seems like too, though, when you go back to the Katrina shit, and even probably with these things that happen in the mountain towns or whatever, like it's just infrastructure. People, but no, I just think that needs to be something that's probably brought into question because that shit that Biden said was kind of nuts when they caught him like talking at the airport. He was like, "We've done enough." Yeah, like that. I don't think he realized what he was saying or the way he was saying it, but that's how what he was like. We've done enough.
Like this is all I can do for y'all.
I mean, and I think what he means is like we've maxed out what the money will allow for, but you can't say that to Americans in a national disaster. Like that's just not, especially in these times when everybody's under the impression that you're giving blank checks to other countries. So all right, no, we got going.